BuckeyeHuddle.com Southern Swing continues. New high school for us. We've never been up here. Cass High School in White, Georgia. North of Marietta. I think that's probably a good description, right?
Northwest, yes, sir.
Northwest of Marietta. Brodie McWhorter, one of the top 2026 quarterbacks in the country. Ohio State target. Offer from the Buckeyes. Brodie, first of all, how's everything going? Spring football here?
Yes, sir. It's going great. Day 8 or practice number 8 today. Looking at getting out with my guys on the field today. Chemistry and energy has been great. So.
Yep. You made it up to Ohio State in the springs at the end of March for a spring practice. What did you notice, I guess, at that point? What were your thoughts on kind of some of your takeaways from that?
Just how Coach Kelly works with the quarterbacks. Some places you got offense coordinators, quarterback coaches just have their little guys or their analysts working with the quarterbacks. Now Coach Kelly, he's hands-on, make sure after every rep working with the guys, telling them what they did right, telling them what they did wrong, always encouraging them. So that was just great to see of how involved he is with the players.
Yeah, and it seems like Ohio State's kind of like a school of interest for you even before that. I mean, just where does that stem from? Is there something that you've noticed about Ohio State growing up that kind of piqued your interest?
Growing up, Ohio State was always a dream school with Oregon. You just see the quarterback play and quarterback history with Ohio State, all the way back with Cardale Jones, J.T. Barrett. So just growing up, I loved watching Ohio State offense and just love watching them sling the ball.
That's kind of interesting you mentioned Ohio State and Oregon because Chip Kelly obviously did a lot of good things at Oregon.
Yes, sir.
How did you take his arrival to Columbus? Obviously, they had Corey Dennis, and then Bill O'Brien for about a week, and then Bill O'Brien got a head coaching job, and so Chip Kelly comes in. I think it was a hire that maybe surprised a lot of people because Chip left a head coaching job at UCLA to come be the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. Kind of what was your reaction?
When I found that out, I got the ESPN notification. I was obviously shocked, as if everyone else was. But I think it would be great with him and Coach Day. Two offensive geniuses together. They'll do a lot of great things in Columbus.
Part of the draw, I think, for Ohio State in terms of quarterback recruiting has been not only their development of quarterbacks, but the weapons that those quarterbacks have been able to have at their disposal at Ohio State. Is that something that you've kind of paid attention to, just the receiver run that they've been
Definitely.
on?
Coach Hartline's one of the best recruiters in the country. Seeing what the receivers he has brought in means a lot to me of who I'm going to be throwing it to, who I'm getting the ball to, and just the guys that makes plays for me. Without receivers, I wouldn't be able to do my job. So seeing that definitely helps.
Yeah. For people just getting familiar with you, I know the 2026 recruiting cycle is just kind of getting rolling here. What type of game do you play, or what are your strengths? Just kind of describe, I guess, yourself as a player.
My strengths definitely are just throwing the ball around the field no matter what level we're at, first, second, and third. I'm ready to sling it. I think I shocked a lot of people last season with my legs. Nobody thought I could run. They thought I was a statue back there, but I wanted to make plays out of nothing, escape out of the pocket, just make plays with my feet, So.
How important is that becoming? It just feels like, not everyone has to be like Lamar Jackson necessarily, but it feels like you got to be able to move at least to create some space for yourself to make a throw. I mean,
no, you have to at this level. You got to make plays with your feet. You can't just stand back there. So it definitely is. You're not saying you have to be Lamar Jackson, but you also just can't stand back there and be a statue, like I was saying. You got to make plays with your feet if you want to succeed at this level.
Is that something you work on, like with training and things like that, just kind of athleticism, quickness?
In the whole offseason, I worked with our DB coach. He does speed and agility every day after school, sessions on the weekend, just to improve my speed, agility, first 3 steps, just quickness in general.
Yeah. Where else did you get out to this spring? Where are some schools you got to check out?
Mostly all over the Southeast, including Georgia, Florida, Auburn, Alabama, North Carolina, Georgia Tech, Georgia. I don't know if I already said that, but and then made it up to Ohio State. Who else? That's all I can remember this spring.
Yeah. Anywhere you're trying to get this summer?
I'm looking at scheduling taking a visit out to Oregon this summer. Coach Stein, Coach Smith, Coach Lanning, they're all great coaches, so I want to definitely get out there and spend more time with the coaching staff, see all the facilities, see everything, and learn more about the program. Have a scheduled trip to Clemson June 4th and UNC June 5th, but as of right now, that's all I have.
Okay. As you get out, obviously you're still a while away. What's going to be important to you when you evaluate schools and kind of try and separate one from the other?
The main 2 things I've always said in this recruiting process is relationships with coaches. Because the next 3 to 4 years, I'm not going to have my mom or dad or family here with me. That will be my family when I'm away from family. So, and then just offensive schemes that fits me. I can't go into a system, hand the ball off every play. And so I look for a pro style air raid type.
How closely are you going to be watching, like especially maybe someone like Ohio State this fall, just because there are some new pieces on the offensive side of the ball, there are some new pieces on the offensive coaching staff. How will you kind of evaluate that this year? And I guess, do you plan on kind of keeping an eye on how the Coach Kelly dynamic is
I look
working?
to keep an eye on it heavily. Seeing Coach Kelly come in, you saw what he did at Oregon, UCLA, his type of offense. So I definitely want to see how that is. And my eyes on the early enrollees, Julian Sand and Jeremiah Smith. Watching them, I watch Julian Sand almost every week, just highlights. I'm slinging the ball. And Jeremiah Smith's just a freak athlete. So it's going to be fun to see what they do on Saturdays.
How I don't say weird, but quarterback recruiting is different. Like if you're an offensive lineman, they're going to take 4 or 5 of you in a class.
Yeah,
you don't have to
quarterbacks
worry
is
too
just
much.
one.
It's kind of like almost like a musical chairs game. So with that in mind, I mean, how much do you pay attention to like what other guys are doing, who other guys are looking at, and kind of does that influence kind of your decision timeline in terms of when you might want to make a decision?
I definitely look at that because I'm not going to go into a system that I was already taking a commitment from a 26, but I'm also not scared of competition. So it plays a huge factor to me, but I'm not too worried about it because I believe in myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's kind of an iron sharpens iron thing, especially when you're looking at guys, maybe not in your own class, but like guys ahead of you. Like, hey, that guy was pretty highly rated ahead of me, but got to go in there and compete.
It's just
right?
like Ohio State. Julian Sand going in with Aaron Nolan already there. Yeah. So iron sharpens iron. Like I saw that's what Aaron Nolan said. Yes, sir.
Yep. Cool. Well, we appreciate you doing this. We know you got to get out to practice. You got practice going here pretty soon, so we'll let you get to it. But I appreciate you making some time for us.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all stopping by.
Yep. Good luck. I'm sure we'll be seeing you in the future.
Yes, sir.
All right.